Hello again, this is Tim Lloyd from GMAT.cz. We're part of Gain Access in Prague in the Czech Republic. This is another question in our certainly way above average category. It involves all kinds of wonderful things to do with number properties, factoring, reverse FOIL, and a certain dose of intuition, or shall we say thought process requiring deduction. Now the reason I'm emphasizing that to begin with is because it involves terminating decimals. So if you have absolutely no idea what on earth this question is talking about, I would highly recommend you to do more of a foundation level, then come back to these advanced videos when you're more confident with regard to number property rules and certain terminology such as terminating decimal. Anyway, for those of you who are regularly scoring above 600, this is your ballpark type of question. Okay, well, there are actually not that many decimals which, when they're on the denominator of a fraction, do not give you a terminating decimal as a result. Of course, sometimes we need to worry about other things, but here, when we look at the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5 on the denominator of this question stem fraction, pretty soon we come to the conclusion that we're only interested in the 3. If you're not sure about that, get a calculator, do some divisions. It doesn't matter how many times we deal with the 2, the 4, the 5. We just, we might have a longer terminating decimal, in other words further away from 0, but they will always terminate. Therefore, we are only interested in the 3, and as always in this type of question, we therefore are only interested in a variable which is b. Okay, so with that in mind, we've established, despite all the other variables in this question, the only one we're interested in is b. Now if you're not sure about that, pause this video, try a few different values. You're not in any rush at the moment, so it's better to learn from this type of question in case it does come up in your test. And then you'll have a lot more confidence and you'll realize, well, I need to double check, I might put some numbers in there. Let's get to work. As every good test taker knows, pen to paper time. So we're going to start by evaluating the first clue. We know what we're looking for. We have the paradigm of looking for yes and a no as quickly as possible, and we know that it's all about what the variable b is going to be. Okay, so clue 1. I'm just going to put it on the board and we're going to do some reverse FOIL. Now if you know your quadratic equations, those relationships that have come up in other videos, I'm talking about a plus b times a minus b, a plus b squared, a minus b in parentheses squared, a minus b parentheses squared. You'll realize that GMAT's a little bit obsessed with them, and that we're going to very quickly apply that one or more of those relationships to this question. The goal at this point, generally speaking, is to simplify. However, I'm only going to do it for fun on this video. Okay, strange that may seem. We are not interested in A. A has no influence on our decision-making process with regard to whether the question stem fraction, if you like, has a terminating decimal value or not. We've established that. I'm not going to go around in circles, but let's just have a bit of fun and simplify this. So, for example, a squared minus 1 on the denominator can be written down as bracket or parentheses a plus 1 parentheses a minus 1 parentheses, or the other way around. Okay. On top, in the numerator, we've got a different relationship. We have parentheses a minus 1 parentheses all squared. Okay, I'm going to write them both down for simplifications. Process of simplification, you can now see immediately that all these cancel out, top, bottom, numerator, denominator, the result is 1. Okay, so I was only doing that because I think it's good education for anyone who's not too confident with that. I would have immediately eliminated answer choices A and D if this were the test, and I'd have already probably finished by going through that second clue. Once you know what to look for, even in these advanced or even super advanced questions in data sufficiency, there's no reason why the question necessarily is going to take you 5 minutes. It's just identifying what the target is, and that's why we always recommend minimum 1,000 practice questions on each area of GMAT, sentence correction, reading comprehension, whatever it may be, before you walk into that test center. There are a few people who don't need to do that and walk out with a 750 first time. God bless them, good for them. Getting back to clue 2, we know that we're interested in B. Well, guess what? Immediately the hairs on the back of your neck should be standing up with excitement, because yes, we have information with regards to B. So it's possible that the answer choice itself is going to be B. But let's get the information down on the numerator. Sorry, this is not a fraction. I'm going to write one underneath the other here, but let's not get confused. We're just again going to use our special golden relationships for those quadratics. I'm doing reverse FOIL on a squared minus 2a plus 1. We assume that you absolutely know these, and if you do not, you should not be watching this video, quite frankly. But don't worry, we've got plenty of other videos at different levels, and we're always happy to explain things via email. Thank you for all of you who are giving feedback, by the way. So here now we're just going to have a look at the result of those reverse foils, and lo and behold, you can start cancelling out. And GMAT is a very elegant test in this way. The test writers, the people who come up with these questions, they follow a certain system. They have to tick boxes literally on what they put into different questions at different levels. I wouldn't say they're templates, but near enough. And if you are moving through a question such as this one, and you find yourself doing this type of elegant simplification, cancellation, 9 times out of 10, you're heading in the right direction. Okay, so that should build your confidence. The answer choice here is B, because the second clue by itself is sufficient. Just for fun, let's go back to the original question. In the question stem, we'll write down the fraction, we'll put our variables in there, and we will use the information we have gleaned from statement 2, clue 2 if you like, to explain why this is now definitely at some point a terminating decimal. Okay, it does not go on for infinity, such as 0.33333 recurring, etc. Wherever infinity is, it's a good question. Where do all those 3's go? Anyway, back to this one. 0.5 if you like, or half. 3 to the power 0 is 1. A quarter, and a fifth. We'll turn that into decimals. 0.5, don't worry about the 1. 0.25. And then 0.2. Now, another way to think about this, imagine these were not decimals but actual integers. 5, 25, 2. It doesn't matter how many times you raise them to various indices and multiply, as long as we're not dealing with fractions, of course, we will end up with some value of 1,000 or 100 or etc. etc. Likewise, below the decimal place, we will reach a terminate decimal. Thank you very much. This was Tim Lloyd from GMAT.cz. This was another question from the absolute legend that is Sandeep Gupta. If you've got any questions regarding this or any of the other questions in this set, within this particular playlist of our YouTube channel, click on the link, contact us through social media, wherever it may be, and we will be delighted to reply as soon as possible. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hope this was helpful. Goodbye.